Right. We have not done a solo in a long time.
No, we have not.
I have not had the need because the group now refuses to break up, which is fantastic. However, this one is necessary.
Gotta
So,
love character development.
yep. Rather than either do it half-assed so that the entire game becomes about yours, we're just gonna do it one-on-one. Because in order to have everyone else have game time, we'd have to do this half-assed or off the books anyway.
Exactly.
So let's just do it off the books. All right. See, we gotta. I'm either waiting for our viewers to come up with a name for the ones who watch, or we have to. I'm not sure which. Because like Critical Role is critters. I don't know what Dimension 20 is. I really don't care. But I'm curious as to like what they would come up for ours. I really am.
I feel like failures would be the go-to.
Yeah. Failures, or they're gonna revert back to my original, which is fuckwits.
But
Or like ADHD squad. I don't really know, but they'll figure something else. They'll figure something out. So we've had the followers are trickling in. It's like basically between 1 and 3 a day, which doesn't sound like much, but
in the
um,
long run, it adds up.
it really does. We're at 618 on YouTube now. So, and when this started a year ago, we were under 5.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe how big this campaign has got and how in depth it is.
and you know what? When you've got 6 players, so yeah.
It's awesome to see how quickly it took off.
Yeah. I had no idea that it was going to last this long, let alone get this big. Once the team started changing hands and like falling apart and shit, I thought it was over. Like all the other ones, but nope. People held strong. So,
We're very
yeah.
hard to detect.
That's good. I like it. Everyone keeps showing up. And there was only one that was angry about there being no progress for like fucking ever, but there couldn't be any progress. So, but then 2 doors were shut at the exact same time. So, like,
Gotta love it.
yeah. But all right. So, fuck. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of Failed Attempt, where a single asshole comes back to try and play D&D. This is, at this point in time, if you've been keeping up, a very much needed solo with Yorrick Evermore. Um, where where you in particular left off is you guys built the igloo that was big enough for the entire team. You had been trying to track where your book went after bleeding from every orifice of your body to the point where you passed out in the snow, and then it disappeared. And between trying to find the rest of the team and building igloo and the house disappearing, um, it's been right on top of you in a connection standpoint and then disappears and then comes back faintly, grows stronger, disappears. And now, from the conversation we had privately, it's been completely severed, which you would be able to feel that the connection went from weak to strong, and now is gone, which you haven't felt in the entire time. Like basically, since you got the book, since you connected it to your patron, because you had your patron before you found the book,
Correct.
but you took the book and you connected it to them, um, to uh, if I'm
Uta.
pronouncing, yeah, if I, futa, futa. Yes, actually, I want to say I have what that means. Probably not though. I can't remember what word in Latin I chose to put that on.
Moral of the
Anyway.
story:
Oh yeah,
don't.
trickster. Trickster in Latin is futa. Furta, trickster. So,
Moral of the story: don't strike a deal with a trickster patron.
well, the other thing that you and I agreed on was merging them because you are a warlock and a cleric, but you did archfey for warlock and you did trickster domain for cleric, and futa is a trickster archfey. So it just makes sense to have one instead of two.
Yeah, because
To just merge them together.
the Fae
Makes it
are
way less.
in their own,
Yeah.
and then you mix a trickster, a holy trickster deity with it, chaos.
Yes. It makes it the perfect mix, especially for how you wanted to play York. So, um, where this is going to take place after your uneventful watch and trying very anxiously to find where your book is and just trying to piece together the events of battling with the clock creature inside the house and saving this new person in a strange yet familiar way, because all of your meetings have been weird. I don't think there's been a single normal way that your group has met since day one. So the fact that they were jettisoned into one of his cards, um, from what she said told the party was Eleanor Crow, which isn't outside the area of her expertise. Um, you rescued her, you defeated the clock, and after a very stressful couple of hours of trying to reconnect with the book, the the sever breaks. Um, believe it or not, you find yourself able to actually like, okay, I'll deal with this in the morning. You relax and you drift into a sleep. Very abruptly, you are awakened, like that feeling that you're falling in a dream and you can actually see yourself falling but you're not actually falling. You wake up just like, you wake up in a
Oh,
panic in your bed because yes, exactly, because your brain is telling you that you're about to fall, so your body jolts yourself awake. You're in a cold sweat.
adrenaline.
You're in a cold sweat, which is oddly not uncomfortable, because when you awaken, when you open your eyes and you rub them and that foggy film goes away, you're not in the igloo anymore.
Of course, I'm not.
You're laying in the middle of a grassy field in the middle of the day. It's bright. And as you sit up to try and get your area and your composure, it is green for as far as the eye can see, with just patches of trees here and there and the sounds of birds chirping and just going from one patch to the other. And you can see dandelions and just like rose petal bushes that are being pollinated from this weird looking bug to a familiar bee to whatever the fuck kind of thing that is, with very quick buzzing wings and a log stem for a face and
It's
like duck feet. Like
boring.
what is that? However, it's warm. It's a blue sky, not a cloud in it, one sun. which is comforting at sight. But where am I? And as you get up to your feet, the area around you immediately becomes very familiar. As in front of you, you see 4 caves. And in the middle of these 4 caves, a giant cluster of weirdly arranged treasure.
Did I accidentally eat one of the drug apples? So I still have those.
That's very beautiful, but I can hear her.
Hang on.
This very beautiful voice. I don't want her to think it was not a beautiful voice, but I can hear her. Um, so yes, for this pause, this was a very necessary solo to do with Yorrick Evermore, so I don't have to interrupt, or not really interrupt, but like take the entire 4 hours of gameplay doing this, so that we can really like open it up and make it happen. Um, we are also possibly getting 2 additional sponsors. We're also going to start going heavy on the ones that we do have. Um, Malador and Steven want to go heavy on the Dubby Energy and possibly another one that we're going to get. And I know you and Jill, or even just Jill, is going to do the rest of them that I sent her. So those are going to start being individual videos and their own playlist on our YouTube channel and also spliced into our videos. So yes, we are selling out, just so you're aware. Anyway, because you know how that shit goes. They enjoy your videos for so long, and then they're like, "You have commercials now. You're set." Yes, we're selling out. Deal with it. Anyway, so as you're trying to get your composure, wondering if you had eaten one of those apples or any of that fruit that you had gathered from that weird Cyclops hut you were trapped in.
They weren't
Another thing that you notice,
close enough though.
what they weren't apples. What were they?
I mean, they looked like apples,
They
sort
looked
of.
like apples. Yeah, it was fruit of some kind. Um,
Undetermined.
standing, yes, standing on top of the pile is a familiar yet unfamiliar. You've seen this form of futa before, only it's a lot more elegant this time, and the weaponry is different. On top of the pile stands the rather tall 5'9", 5'10" deity you know as your archfey, wearing a pale green, um, kind of like an overcoat that drapes over the shoulder but doesn't attach in the middle and just kind of comes to triangles right here at the chest and then drapes over the back about down to the bottom of the shoulder blades with a dark, dark, dense forest green dress that goes all the way down to the ankles, and as it flows it kind of hides her feet as well, and on the very very edge of the bottom of the dress, and then also right here on the collarbone and down to the sleeves that cover about midway down the forearm, it's lined with butterflies, just brown, yellow, black butterflies, just a very very beautiful design. On top of the head is not the black jagged crown that you're used to seeing her with. It is what looks like just very thin branches of trees just wrapped around in a circular pattern, crossed like the infinity symbol. And then on that as well is just different colored flowers and also butterflies and just various plant life. and no horns on the top of the head, just long silver hair that drapes down to the shoulders and just blows ever so gently. Weapon and the fingernails are also painted with the same dark forest green. The skin a pale white, and then in her hand is not the staff you're used to seeing with the giant diamond on the top. It is a hunter's bow, like a 5 foot hunter's bow that she is holding with one hand, tightly taut. Um,
It's almost
places for
a
a
spring inspired design.
uh, place for 3 arrows to be in, although none of them are loaded. And on the ends, so you know how the bow bends, right? How it bends
Yeah.
in that half moon. On this end and this end is actually a scimitar mounted on both sides that face the front, almost as if they run out of arrows, they use it to hit, and there's 2 blades on each side of the bow. And there she stands on top of the pile, just not even really paying attention to the fact that you're there, just standing on top of the pile, looking off in the distance, seeming like they're really enjoying the sound of the birds and the gentle winds that are coming through. What would you like to do?
Hmm. I'm almost kind of nervous to interrupt because it seems like she's really enjoying her view. So I'm gonna kind of walk around a little bit and just kind of take in the sights.
Okay. But where exactly are you walking? Like toward the pile, toward the caves, away from them?
I'm gonna walk towards far the far left cave.
Got it. Okay. Um, just so you are aware, as you start to kind of like silently scuttle toward the left cave. So it's the massive mound, which the mound itself, because she's 5'10", so kind of average height. The mound itself sits roughly 6 feet off the ground and has a circular diameter about 5 feet wide, but it's 6 feet at the top, and then it goes in like a dome shape, and then just spreads out at the bottom where a lot of the treasure wasn't able to attach or it fell off. And it's anywhere from what I described to you before, weapons to gold coins to various gems to bottles to weird spheres to just everything on there, everything shiny that would catch your attention. Um, 5 feet to the left is just a random cave, just a random rock face that has a hole that is black and seems to carry on. 5 feet to the left of that is another one, and then the same thing on the right side. So the same setup as before when you were in that house and ate that weird fruit and couldn't get past the glass. Only this time, as you're making your way toward the left cave, there's nothing that stops you. There's no weird glass shield this time. You keep going. And within 20, 30 steps, you're standing in front of the far left cave.
And
And you
there's
hear
nothing in it
well, I mean
that I
you that you can see, no. Even with your 120-foot dark vision, it looks like you can see inside the hole as if it's daylight up to 120 feet, but the drop just goes. It starts off and then just goes. And it's just like this weird, it almost looks like a man-made dirt path. But it literally, you're standing here, like you're standing here, and it
Okay.
starts like this, and then just like a roller coaster, and the 120-foot vision just goes. Like you can't see anything beyond that. You literally get to the end of your vision, and from the side of you, you hear, "Beautiful, isn't it?" And even the voice is different. You're not getting immediately. You notice it's not the raspy. I just smoked a pack of cigarettes. Creepy underdark voice that she uses in the cold front. Like her larynx are frozen. It's musical.
Sounds like she is in spring.
It's peaceful. I like it here. You got yourself into a odd little predicament there, old boy. I mean, you never really had much of a handle on that godforsaken book anyway, and I will admit I had my own fun in that matter from time to time. But now it might be a problem. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that I'm not intrigued. There was bound to be other players going after this artifact. You've got, Trock, who's been planning your death for years. Uh, but this one, whoever this one is strong enough to even block me out. No, it's not immortal.
Wonderful.
No normal entity could have done this. Very, very powerful in the ways of arcana. Anti magic. So, I'm very interested to know what your thoughts and plans are. However, before we get to that, I have very quickly the reason why I brought you here into my peaceful area and ruined my mood. You are rather useless without that book. I think we can agree on that. I also know that you've been trying to combine your two personalities, we'll say, your light and dark that you struggle with every day that you wake up. And I'm going to help you, or at least try. It's not going to be easy. It never is. But um, if we are successful, you will have access to both sides, at least um, your skills and abilities for your light and dark. Whatever's in that book, I can't really help you there until you get it back. But you'll have something. And who knows? Who knows? We might be able to get you everything that you've used in the book so far without it. But I doubt it. So, before we get into that, how have you been? And you're just like, you're going to see this asking that question would not only be like, why is she talking to me this way? But it's that sarcastic immediately without, it wouldn't it's not very difficult. That the "how have you been" is like it's a sarcastic, "how did you lose it this time?" Like, "What the fuck?" Like, there's definitely that underlying, "Please give me an answer I wanna hear." "How have you been?" Just rocking the shoulders and the big shit-eating grin and, like, squinting eyes and just kinda pulling the bow in and then, like, just kinda strumming the oak wood that it's made out of, just
Honestly, it's been one hell of a ride from day one, but there's a lot to uncover with this conversation. Specifically, I'm not quite sure how to really say it, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. I got beaten. I got I got beat up by a clock automaton monster. Opened the book to show a picture and then passed out. When I woke up, the book was gone. I did have some semblance of a connection to it. I tried to follow that connection, but it seems like the closer that I got to the book's location, it would vanish again, and the connection would get weaker until recently it completely vanished.
hmm.
I no longer have a connection with the book, and I'm having a lot of trouble locating it.
Well, I no how longer have a connection with it either,
You don't.
which is what led me to believe that it's another player that is at a power beyond even my understanding. Even deities have their limits.
That's understandable. I know that there's a lot of eyes on this particular book.
And you haven't exactly been quiet with it either.
I've been trying my best to study it, harness its power, and hopefully one day unlock its full potential. However, the harder I try, the more problems that persist.
Well, you've got to be able to hold on to it for longer than 5 minutes for us to do that. Um, and taking that, I mean, we don't know if it's an ancient artifact. We don't even know who created it. We don't know how it came to be. You stumbled upon it, you brought it to me, and it has been fascinating. You brought it to another timeline, lost it there, and who knows what eyes that woke up. And we might have those thinkers, so-called demigods, we might have them looking at it too. So to be able to pinpoint who may have taken it, who's powerful enough to take it, that's going to take some work. I can stick my feelers out, be more than willing to help with that, but it's not going to be easy. And of course, you know my help comes with a price.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Oh, I know.
That book is very important, very powerful, and if left in the wrong hands, could be more than just catastrophic. So I will do whatever it takes.
She just starts like laughing maniacally, not just like gut wrenching, bending over, just laughing, and then stands back up. By the way, off topic, something I've been wanting to say to you for a while. Uh, that was not me in the inn upstairs. I couldn't wait to tell you that.
Then who was it?
I have no idea, but it was hilarious. Now let's at least get on with your initial trials. A little bit different than the last one. I know you had to face 3 versions of me, and that was to just harness the access to not only the book, but also my aid in pumping my energy into it. This is going to be a bit different because now we're trying to get you to unlock both sides at the same time and gain 100% control. Are you ready?
He's gonna. I'm gonna adjust my bag on my shoulder, and I'm ready to do whatever it takes.
Okay.
Roll for initiative.
Not yet.
Yet, he says. You know what? I haven't used my metal set in a while. So I will get those ready. But anything that may come.
Oh, yeah, that one. It's the only one I did not do. So, she is, and actually, I'm going to send this to you.
Oh, jeez.
So she is going to gently float over to you, and it's going to look like she's taking steps, and even her footprints are going to be gently matting down the grass as she's walking, but her feet aren't actually touching the ground as she moves her way over to you from the top of the mound to the far left cave. And she waves her hand over your pocket. And this is going to piss him off when I tell him. And in the palm of her hand is the big black diamond shaped amulet that Malador got from Nier. The one that has the silver lining that he couldn't touch.
Oh.
And in her other hand, she has just the very, very thin silver necklace, laces it through, and puts it around your neck.
Ding. Of course, you're downloading updates.
that. Let me know when it went through, if it goes through. Because I'm going to have to add this to your character
Okay.
sheet.
Oh, so it basically gives me like, oh, okay.
Yes, that is the Amulet of Mortuorum. Which I can actually add custom item. Oh no, this is equipment, not. Yeah, this is equipment.
I'm gonna go ahead and paste that straight into my notes.
No, I'm actually going to add it. I'm going to add it to your inventory and then just put all of the necessary changes. But yes, put it into your notes as well. Going to do that, and we're going to do that. All add item.
Yo,
Equipment.
that's huge.
Yes, so make sure you keep track of all of that.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
I'm gonna refresh my character sheet.
Yep. So your necrotic resistance turns to immunity.
Don't. There we go.
There you go. So that's on there. So just for this is a created item by me, just so the listeners understand. The Amulet of Mortuorum, the Amulet of the Dead or Death. Immunity to necrotic damage, magic and non-magic. Remember that. So if it's necrotic from a feature or a trait, you're immune to that too. Adds 1d8 necrotic damage to every attack, magic and non-magic. So if you punch with your fists, you add a d8 of necrotic damage. Ability to see through magic and non-magical darkness up to 60 feet.
Father.
Creatures of the night with ill intent will avoid the user out of fear even if they are immune to fear. Friendly creatures of the night will protect the user should they become in danger. The user cannot be brought back from the dead or healed should they reach 0 health.
High risk, high reward.
So all of those other little amazings are followed up by one that is not so much. So just keep
So
all that in mind.
I also went in and added the immunity to my page.
Oh, I did that as well.
Oh,
Then the necrotic immunity. Yeah, because you
yep.
were naturally resistant to necrotic. Now you're immune to it.
Okay. So I just got to be careful and not go down.
While you're wearing it, yeah.
Well, while
But
I'm wearing it.
she floats over and puts this around your neck. Good luck. And she pushes you into the cave.
Oh, well, okay, I guess. Okay, bye.
Whee! And I mean, you fall and you fall. And as you're falling, you are you come to a very, very quick understanding. You're not falling as fast as you should be falling. It's not feather fall by any means, but it's not, a nearly 200-pound person falling. You're not falling as quickly as you should be with all the gear and the weight that is on you.
So I would still take fall damage, or
Well,
would it be like halved?
it's difficult to pinpoint that part. You do also realize that you are falling down a funnel. So
Walls are closing in. Got it.
no, not yet. But as you were pushed down and you began to fall, it does not open up. It does not get any bigger, and it does not get any tighter. It's like you're falling down a rock tube with a dirt path behind you that doesn't crumble away to gravity. It just keeps going. And then the other 3/4 of the space around you is just rock and earth and twigs and whatever else wants to poke through. And you fall and you fall and you fall for what seems like forever, until finally you see dust coming up from underneath you, as if something had already fallen before you. And bam, you come down out of this hole with tree branches and rocks and bits of dirt as you just collapse onto a like a tile floor. But you don't take any damage. I mean, it hurts. It hurts. The fall hurts. You definitely like your the every nerve in your body is telling you should be broken right now. But you get up just fine.
If I had a nickel for every time Yorrick has fallen,
You'd be
I have
rich.
a lot of nickels.
You'd be rich. And as you get up, um, again, you very, very quickly understand the magical and non-magical traits to this amulet of why you're able to see through 60 feet of darkness, because everywhere around you is just arcane dark magic everywhere around you. The surface that you're standing on is not only, it's not rock, it's literally like tile. And it is a circular space of about 3 feet. It's about a 3 foot diameter space. So there's not a whole lot of room for you to stand on. There's not a whole lot of room for you to take a step back or get into a battle stance. It's just this tiny disc. And it's, as you hit it, it didn't bob and weave like it should, because everywhere else around you, every direction that you look is just water, just black water. And there's little waves as if it's either flowing or being disturbed or being fed in by something else, just tiny waves. And as the waves crest up, there's this very pale blue light that peers through and then just goes back to being black, and then it comes up and crests and it's a blue light and then goes down, comes back up. Every few seconds it'll crest blue, go back to black. And every direction you do a 360 to get your bearings, and it's all this water. And as you're looking this way, the water is is waving away from you. You turn, it's waving away from you. You turn, it's waving away from you. At some point, this water should be coming toward you and then away from you. Every direction in a 360 pattern, the water is going away from you. And like it'll crest up on this side, but be down on this side. Then it'll crest up on this side, but be down on this side. And then every once in a while, the pattern will change. And I mean, as you look up, the tunnel that you fell down is no longer there. It's this giant, just gaping void of endless darkness, way beyond your 60 feet, way beyond your 120 feet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna kneel down and try to touch the water and see if, or what I think is water.
Okay, so as you need, like, do you get down to one knee?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop down to one knee and
Okay.
just stick
So
my hand.
just remember, it's a 3-foot disc. So when you get down to your kneecap is touching one edge and your foot is touching the other edge. That's how it's a very small disc. It is a 3-foot diameter disc. You have absolutely zero wiggle room. But as you reach down and you touch the water and you take it up into your hand, it's oil. But it doesn't smell like oil. It doesn't feel like oil. It just looks like it. It's just this thick goop that should not be as liquidy or free flowing as whatever this area is. And as it drips out of your hand, it doesn't drip out like oil, it doesn't drip out like water, it drips out into ashes and just floats away and there's no air, there's no wind in this room whatsoever. But as it goes into ash, it blows off. It just so the air is very still. There's nothing in here. And even as you're breathing, there's no smell, there's no evidence of anything going into your lungs or leaving your lungs. And even if you wave your hand in the air, there's no sense or feel of anything following it. You get attacked by a cat.
Oh, Yorrick's been polymorphed into a cat. Good luck,
Oh
y'all.
no, no. You get attacked by a cat. Game over.
Oh well. Well, nice. Good
I
session.
mean, you think I'm gonna let you beat up a cat? No. It's gonna turn out to be a Tarask.
There's not much else for me to really do. Like I don't want to. I kind of want to dive in, but I feel like that's not the correct answer to this puzzle.
Well, let's think about this for a second. And this is the only time that I'm gonna
Because
give you a helping hand. Because it is just you.
hang on, hang on. Let me.
Just I'm only asking one question. I'm not helping you answer it. What were you brought down here to do?
I am in my light form. Get it dark. So, it's brought down here to try and unlock my full potential and have control over both sides. This is a test. The liquid acts like oil, but when it drips, it turns to ash.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Oh boy, I'm good at those. Proceeds to roll the lowest number possible. Watch. So that is 24.
Okay, so again, I'm not going to give you the direct answer, but with that roll, I'm able to give you something. 24 on Arcana, very good. So you're surrounded by what the eyes and the ears perceive to be water. You are in your cleric form, only access to cleric spells. Is there anything you have that would be useful surrounded by water?
Surrounded by water. In my cleric form, I have create or destroy water. That would work. However, I don't know the exact dimensions of this room. But you know what?
You destroy up to 10 gallons of water in an open container within range. Now, it's not an open container.
Not there.
You destroy fog in a 30-foot cube within range. It is not an open container. However, I have made exceptions before. When you cast this spell using a spell slot 2 or higher, you create or destroy 10 additional gallons of water per level that you use. So,
And I
as
have up
long
to
as
third level.
you have up to third level, which means you could destroy or create up to 30 gallons of water. If you chose to burn a third level spell.
Let's go back over my stuff again.
I forgot how much fun this was just having like one-on-one where I have to sit and stare at the one person.
As we have an entire mental breakdown trying to figure out what this means.
I love puzzles.
God damn it. This happened the last time with the room at the giant village having a whole on conniption over fruit, rice, and some weird static liquid. Surrounded by water. What I perceive to be water, but it doesn't act like water. I have the materials for that. I am genuinely stumped. A lot of the stuff that I can use requires the book.
Just focus on what you can use without it.
Requiem requires the book, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
It does indeed.
I thought I was being cheeky. Looks like it could be water. Also, so looks and feels like oil.
Where is your Requiem? Is that in actions?
Yeah, it's an
Yes, it
action.
is.
A bonus action? Bonus action.
Yes.
So I was thinking that Requiem would be a good thing to use here because it casts light. But seeing as the book is MIA, that is out the window. So I will. Wait a minute. I'm going to. Wait a minute. Memory is intelligence.
Yes.
Intelligence check. I'm gonna roll an intelligence check to see um if this liquid would be anything similar to dark matter.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, no, I have no fucking clue. That's a nat one. Well, I'm going to then. That is targeted. The only thing that really interacts with water is create or destroy.
What is your AC?
15. Get kicked in the back, aren't I?
You're gonna hear as a 12-inch from wing to wing bat flutters down and comes within just like a nose hair and then shoots up to the other side. And as they're flying away, you see that they're actually leaving a trail of fire as they go back up into the darkness.
I feel like that was a sign.
And you hear echoing from above you, tick tick.
I'm going to cast Produce Flame. And I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it for a sec.
Okay. I mean, you see the glow of it shining off the surface of the water.
And what is the range on that? within 30. I have to throw it at a creature.
I think I've allowed you to use that as a torch before.
Yeah. I've also never actually used it as an attack that I can recall.
No. Give me
So I'm
with
going
that with that give me a perception check, but not advantage.
perception, not it.
Just a regular roll.
Wow. Wow. 11.
Okay. Very, very, very faintly. You can't really get the depth of it. But as you're holding the produced flame and the glow hits the surface of whatever this is, this water-like substance, you you look at how the waves are kind of coming up and crashing and coming up and crashing, and you can very faintly see down in the water in front of the disc you're standing on the shape of what looks like another one.
That looks like another disc. So I am going to. Oh man, this is going to be so bad. I may as well swim at this point. I'm going to try to jump to the next one.
Okay, so you're gonna jump into the water.
I'm going to try to jump to the next disc that I saw.
It's under the surface.
Oh, it's under the surface.
Yes, it's in the water.
Oh, you know what? No, my gut says don't do it, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna throw the produced flame out 30 feet.
Okay. As you're throwing it, another one flies in the opposite direction. Again, just leaving a trail of fire behind it. As you throw the produced flame, are you throwing it into the water?
Yeah, I'm gonna like arc it out 30 feet.
Okay. It hits, burns for a trail, and then puffs out.
Well, I was expecting a catastrophic explosion. All right, I guess I will. Rather than getting attacked by bats, against my better judgment, I will. I'm gonna carefully dip into the water and try to go out to where that next disc is.
Okay. How do you dip in? Do you sit down and put your feet in first, or do you just dive in?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down, put my feet in first, and then push off the disc.
So as you sit down and you put your feet in, that ash that came off starts to crawl up your legs.
This is almost similar to the static. How the static creeped up my leg or up my arm as I stuck my hand into it.
And it doesn't feel wet at all.
Thank goodness. This hatred is gonna give me an aneurysm.
All right. 3 bats. One of them shooting this way, one of them shooting this way, and one of them shooting from behind. 2 of them make contact. You take 7 points of fire damage.
Unfortunate.
As the one flying this way hits you in the side of the head. At the same time, this one coming this way hits you into the back of the head, nearly knocking you off the disc completely.
All
But
right. Okay, I'm going in. You can stop.
as your face gets closer to the surface, you now can clearly see a foot away and 3 feet below another disc that is just floating in the water.
Yep. I'm gonna slip all the way in and go out towards the disc.
Okay. It's like flying through air.
Oh,
But as you float down and you touch the disc, as soon as you make landfall, almost like an elevator, it lifts up, pops out of the surface.
interesting.
And now, as you stand up in confusion and look behind you, the disc you were just on is still there.
Almost like I'm creating a path back. Or some kind of path. All right. I'm gonna look around and see if I can see another one anywhere nearby.
Same direction, foot out, 3 feet down.
I'm gonna go up to the next one.
This time, you go to try to get into the water and you land on the surface. Not of the disc, of the water.
Oh, so I'm just walking across the water now.
Mhm.
Okay. Good thing I decided not to dive because that would have been painful but hilarious. But even trying to like force my hand through it, it won't let me go through.
Nope. But you do manage to walk out to just above the third disc. And in a 3-foot circle around you on the surface of this liquid, flames shoot up and surround you, creating just a circular wall of fire.
The Ring of Fire. Well, sounds like I'm in hell.
It starts to close in.
Oh, fuck. I am gonna cast now. I'm gonna cast Create Water to make it fall as rain in a 30-foot cube
Okay.
over
Okay. So you
extinguishes any flame in the area.
so you call out and your voice echoes as you call out to create water, and whatever sky or ceiling there might be in here starts to cloud up and rain falls and extinguishes the fire around you with ease. And that third disc pops up like an elevator beneath your feet.
Ah, Okay. So the first one, it felt like I was flying. Well, no, the first one was just a landing pad, essentially. The second one felt like I was flying. The third one caused a ring of fire. Wait a minute. I'm starting to see a pattern. All right. And the next, is there another disc?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to try to go to that one. Again. Take 7.
Yep, so you used produce flame that allowed you to see the first one. Then you used create or destroy water that saved you from the third one. This next one, how do you try to approach it? The same way?
Yes.
Okay, so you go to step off the disc and you do go into the water, but not completely. Like you don't fall into it like a pool. You go into it about knee high, and immediately you look at your hands, and from the tips of your fingers, it just starts to blacken and rot. And you start feeling incredibly sickly and weak.
Oh man, do I have? I don't have the components for that. Wait, no, that's a first level spell. Haha. I am going to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay. So once again, in your weakened state, you call out. You hear your own voice echo as you're casting this to try and figure out what's going on. And as you're curling your hands around yourself as it's really beginning to go. um, I lost the word. Oh yes, never mind. Yes. So you immediately detect leprosy, and right after you detect it, it all fades away, and the next disc pops above the surface.
I see what's going on here. Okay. I'm going to proceed to the next disc.
Okay.
Well, I see what's going on for now. I'm gonna throw that one out there.
Okay. The basically like you kind of gain your composure after it pops up and you're on the fourth one and you're like, I think I'm getting this. And you kind of look for the fifth one. And the fifth one is not below the water. The fifth one is already above the water and has a humanoid figure standing on it that has a blade in each hand with fiery red eyes looking like they're ready to fight.
So I am going to. They look like they're ready to fight.
Hmm.
First, I'm going to cast Detect Evil and Good.
You get a very deep sense of evil, but they
Uh,
don't go away.
is it an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead?
It's a fiend, but it is a humanoid.
A humanoid fiend. Spell slots are going kaput. I love it. All right.
All right, take 4 points of slashing damage as it attempts to attack you twice and only one lands. Gets you across the shoulder.
Well, that's rude. I am going to. I'm going to use a reaction to Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
That is
That
a.
is a warlock spell.
That's right. I don't have access to that. No. Okay. Unfortunate. All right. I really don't have. Okay. Well, I am going to Fine then. I will cast. Well, I'll take my dagger, cut the palm of my hand, and squeeze out a drop of blood to cast Bane. Is a charisma save 16.
That is a natural 1.
Hell yeah. So as long as I keep my concentration for up to a minute, anytime
Yep.
the
It's a minus a d4.
yep on an attack roll or saving throw,
Yep.
as I keep concentration.
So you've attacked the you've cast detect evil and good. You have cast Bane, but unlike the others, it's still here. That's a miss, even without the d4, and so is that. So it takes 2 more slashes at you. Make an Arcana check for me.
And you, because you are still in jail.
Mm-mm.
We love that. 13.
Even with that roll, you are able to immediately tell that this entity, it will keep attacking you. And if your death is a result, so be it. However, that's not really its purpose. There is something that it is here to help you with. There is one particular spell, obviously just like the others, that will make this go away.
It wasn't Detect Evil and Good, and it wasn't Bane. What other cleric spell do I? Well, what other cleric spell have I not used properly? Well, it is very difficult being a warlock that cannot Eldritch Blast. The urge is there.
Yep,
So
I know.
no, up to second level spot or second level spells. If I
This
burn
is
spell slots, then, well,
this is so hard.
it wants something. Definitely hostile.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
I'm gonna try charm person. It is humanoid.
Okay,
So that is a wisdom 16.
no need. You call forth to cast Charm Person, and it disappears.
Hey, there we go.
And you step onto the next sphere, and you hear echoing throughout this weird, endless chamber. Well done. And immediately on the sphere, you are blasted off like a reverse waterfall
Team Rocket's blasting off again.
and shot up a weird, tight funnel. And then, covered by whatever this is, shot out the cave right next to the one you were pushed down back onto this green field.
I think I understand now.
What did we learn?
I'm gonna look at my hands and
And they're back to normal.
I've been holding back. I've not been using my powers to their full potential.
You've focused too much on your darker side.
I must admit that darker side is very fun, but can easily it's fun to use those powers, but they can be very restrictive.
This next part, I promise you two things. You will suffer more pain than you ever have in your life. And I will get a great deal of joy out of it. And she's just going to lift her hand with these very pretty dark forest green nail polished fingers, and with her pointer touch you right in the forehead between your eyes. I need a con save.
Oh man. I suck at these. You're going in jail.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4. Okay. Do 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 do. Oh, okay. Um,
Dice
take
go.
take 20 points of piercing damage.
20.
20.
God.
As she taps you on the forehead, your shoulders lurch back further than they've ever gone back before, almost to the point where your shoulder blades are not just touching, but they're crossing, just lurch, and your
Oh,
chest puffs out. It feels like your sternum is about to separate with how much pressure you're putting on it. Your head goes all the way back, to the point where it feels like the skin here at your collarbone is literally about to tear as your Adam's apple is just stretching the elasticity as much as it possibly can, and your arms are out to their sides to the like it feels like if you went any further your elbows would bend all the way backwards, your legs spread and curl back behind you in just like this weird um like tantric yoga position as you elevate up into the air, and you just hear as you take 20 points of piercing damage,
Did
and
my
you
boner
are
up and
you
just
are screaming bloody fucking murder. I need another con save.
will you be the one to redeem this? I sure hope so. 18.
Okay. That's actually really good. That is nice. That's only 6 points of piercing damage. But once again, now it kind of feels like the back of your foot is touching the back of your head. As once again you hear I need another one.
Redemption arc. Nine.
That is 15 points of piercing damage. As you're curling backwards and your head is now literally in between your feet. If you were able to look to your left and your right, you would see your kneecaps. One more.
One more con save.
One more.
Considering what my HP is looking like, I may only have one more left. You've got
Don't tell me you got a 1.
7.
Okay. That is 13 points of piercing damage.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
As you literally form and contort into a ball, but backwards. And right as you're about to just say fuck it, this isn't worth it anymore, right as your vision is starting to fade and you're calling out to whatever gods you possibly can, you're calling out for forgiveness for any bad things, you're making amends with the every fiber in your being is telling you that you're about to die. You
Just
see ghostly images of you as a kid with your mom and dad that just kind of you hear of, almost as if your very being is trying to latch onto something pleasant, even if for a moment. And then like an elastic band, you straighten out and hit the ground. And you wake up in the igloo. And that's where we're going to stop.
Oh, thank God.
What did you end with?
I'm right back at where I started after the clock fight. I'm sitting on 2 HP.
And that is when we play on Saturday. That's where you'll start.
If I hadn't passed that one check, Yorrick would have been gone. Right then and there.
And we get to find out what the results are of all that pain on Saturday.
Yorrick's just gonna just be laying there, just like, oh, kill me, please. Oh God damn, dude. Oh, that was brutal. And most of it was just me trying to figure out how to solve this freaking puzzle.
Well, I was gonna put you through a second one, but you literally solved the second one before I even put you on it. By saying out loud, you've been focusing too much on your dark side and you haven't been utilizing your full potential. You figured that out before I even threw you onto another puzzle. So,
Well,
I didn't
I
have to.
felt when after the after the third uh after the third disc, I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm using it's calling for me to use spells that I don't normally use or I just kind of ignore because
hmm
either the situation gets resolved before I can use it, or I just forget that it exists. So I know you've made mention of that before, that
hmm
all of us all of us do it. We
Yeah.
all have spells and different things that our characters can do that we just don't use normally.
Mhm.
And
It was a nice little way to accomplish two things.
that was a badass way to really hammer that point in, to just be like, utilize your character, use what you have. But hey, I got some sick bling out of it. I mean, Maladar's gonna be pissed,
Yeah,
but I have sort of a logical answer to why I have it.
you do. Because you're gonna wake up wearing it.
2 points of suffocation damage.
There you go.
You're on.
Do 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 do. Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna.
Chicken macaroni, chilling with my homies.
Right? See, there you go. Oh, a tune.
Hmm.
What's up?
Just
Oh,
the events of everything set.
I may as well just let you. Well, actually, you know what? We're gonna stop recording and then I'll tell you. Um, so that it's not ruined. But yes, this was a very much needed solo, so I'm glad you were able to do it. And
Well, I was able to get out.
we went for almost 2 hours just on your solo,
Again, most of it was just me trying to figure out what the hell that puzzle meant.
and that's okay. I've put the entire team through puzzles before where everyone was like, "I don't know," and I'm just sitting there. Well, then, what are you gonna do?
You gotta figure it out to progress.
All right. Thank you for watching, everyone, and yeah, we'll see you on Saturday.
Peace out.
Peace out.